Bro, I feel like royalty.
You've no idea.
I feel like Irish royalty.
I feel like at least one step higher than royalty.
Yeah?
Whatever that is. I think is that mid-level god?
No, I think so. Irish royalty is
Okay.
like middle class
American.
American. So we're more like maybe upper middle class American.
Oh, fair enough.
You know how we can up our status
I don't know how.
if we kick it.
Oh.
Well, good afternoon, my glorious, bodacious, holy beer-drinking brethren of the interwebs. We're bringing you something very special today, my dear friends. So welcome to this grandiose, beer-drenched, smoke-filled, Irish pub-inspired episode of Fraternize with These Guys. I am your beloved, humble, good-mannered, well-tempered, gracious, kind. You're not even going to stop me? Nothing?
I wanted to see how many more you could do, because I don't think you've got many more words to describe yourself.
Oh, I could keep going, bro.
Proceed.
That's all I got.
That's what I thought.
I am Pastor Pinewood, and sitting across from this beautifully round pub table is our equally pub table?
Potato?
Pud table.
So we're on a pub. Is that like a potato?
I like pud table.
A potato.
Pud table.
All right. Hell yeah.
Now, if you
Just
had
roll with it.
If you had a pet turtle, and you named him Pud Table,
Potato.
it would be the conversation piece of the century. Sitting across from this pub-inspired table is our other co-host.
Maisie.
You didn't even let me finish.
Sorry.
I was going to give you a whole bunch of negative connotations because I gave all my positive ones.
Go ahead and do it then.
No, I'm done with it.
I need the negatives.
Well, I tell you what we need to do. We need to tell everybody why it might sound a little bit different
yeah.
in their ear holes.
Well, because we're awesome.
Okay, tell everybody where we're at.
All right, so we are actually recording this episode at the Buffalo Nickle.
We took Fraternize on the road.
On the ROAD.
The
ROAD.
My day started about 5:15.
It did.
And it was totally worth it.
And here's the deal. I actually had to text you.
You didn't have to text me. You just chose to text me because you didn't trust me getting up.
Therefore, I had to text you.
And I texted you back, oh ye of little faith.
At 6 o'clock in the morning, when you're supposed to be on the ROAD.
I was on the ROAD.
Fair enough.
Oh, wait, I was close. It was like 6:10 when I pulled out of the driveway.
Yeah, so you were late.
And then I had to get gas, and then I had to stop at McDonald's to get a McMuffin.
Of course.
So I was only like 15 minutes late.
I think that's fair.
I'm counting it a win.
15's okay.
Look, 5 a.m. should not be seen unless you're fishing or hunting. Other than that, it's unacceptable. So I feel like I did a pretty good job.
I'll add another one.
All right.
5 a.m. shouldn't exist unless you're fishing,
Okay.
hunting,
Okay.
or you have wrapped around the day to 5 a.m.
And you're still drinking at that point?
You're still drinking.
Then totally acceptable.
That's acceptable at that point.
I've never done that.
I've only done it about a couple thousand.
I figured you were going to call me out.
We don't want to do that.
Okay, fair enough. So we have
not for the church ladies.
Well, we have driven several hours south of our normal recording studio.
Yes,
and so we're not going to get to play the old Doghouse song.
I'm not opposed to not playing the Doghouse,
But we have a better song.
Oh,
which is very fitting.
Okay,
I'll let you guess. I figured it was perfect. We're in
the Buffalo Nickle. We are here in Midland, Texas.
Yep.
That's down there in Texas.
That's down there in Texas. And we're listening to Guy on the Buffalo.
Guy on the Buffalo at the Buffalo Nickle.
It's about noon, and we're about to drink some beers.
Yes. And if you've not listened to the podcast at all up to this point.
Right.
We drink beer every episode.
Every episode. We usually only have one beer.
A beer.
And this time we're, I think, up to 5?
Is it 5 or 6? I don't know. I think
it's 5 beers they're going to allow us to try.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
We'll go with 5.
Now, here's what I'm nervous about. So we're going to sit down with a brewmaster. Now, I don't know what it means to be a brewmaster, but that's what he claims he is.
I've been mastering brews for about 68 years. So
yeah, but he mastered the other side of it. You've mastered the consumption. He mastered the
crafting,
the production.
Oh,
yeah, and like toilet gin. It's like that, but with beer.
What about trash can hooch? Does that count?
Well, we've made some trash
tub
can hooch.
We done did some tub hooch before.
We upgraded to the porcelain hooch at some point in time.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if he would be too good to make toilet wine.
Well, that's probably fair.
And if I was going to go to prison, I'd want him to be, around.
at least a bunkmate.
Yeah, so, you can have a little toilet wine.
Yeah.
So we're going to sit down with the brewmaster and his co-brewmaster?
Co-owner? Co-brewmaster?
Of the Eccentric Brewing Company here in Midland, Texas. So you got two companies that I need you to go over to Facebook and like. You need to like Eccentric Brewing Company from Midland, Texas.
Yes.
And also the Buffalo Nickle in Midland, Texas.
Yes.
And we will highlight both of those businesses throughout the week on our socials.
Yes, and not only that, but we'll also plug them.
Heck yeah.
If you're one of those people that look at the show notes.
Well, I will say we're going to plug them unless it's super awkward. Because here's my fear. Has this happened before? So there's a little brewery in Borger, which is where that's our big city.
Sure.
I have to go from my little town to the big city of Borger. There's like 12,000 people in the big city.
Whew.
They have a brewery there, and the owner came up to the table and was like introducing himself and talking about his brewery, and then gave us 3 beers to try, and they were all terrible.
Nice.
And when I say bad, I'm like 50s and 60s bad.
Oh,
if I was going to give a rating, it was rough.
Boy.
Even their IPA was disgusting.
Oh, no.
And so...
Oh, no.
So I'm hoping when we sit down, their beer is actually good.
That would be what they twist.
So kind of a special episode. We're not going to do our traditional setup.
Yep.
What we're going to do is we're going to try 5 beers, and I'm guessing that it's going to take long enough to be an episode in itself.
Hopefully.
So we did this little introduction telling you guys where we're at. It's going to be a little loud. There's people in the background. They're trying to get ready for their work day. I think they open at 3 o'clock, if that's right. So
they actually open for business.
Yeah, people...
We're in a legitimate bar.
Yeah, and they're trying to get stuff ready, and
so they can serve folks.
We are impeding their efforts at the moment. As a matter of fact, I
Beauty.
feel their eyes kind of staring at us a little bit.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I like it. Okay, let's get on to, we're going to go to our special Libations Library segment, and that'll be the bulk of the episode, and then we'll close it out with a little ponder this.
Nice.
All right, let's get right to it.
Libations!
Well, keeping in complete context of a different episode, we have a different libation section as well.
Yes.
Which, for me, is going to be wonderful, and for Beezy is going to be wonderful. For our esteemed guest, I don't know if it's going to be wonderful or not.
It's going to be fun for them, for sure.
You get 2 amateur beer drinkers. Now, we're amateur in quality, not quantity. Quantity, we're old
I'm
time.
both. I'm definitely both. I throw a shit ton of beer down this gullet, and it's all usually different every time.
What's wonderful about our guest today is we'll have some good beer language where we struggle. We're like, it's good, tastes all right.
To harken back to the first episode, I like beer. Beer good, tastes good. Get me drunk.
Solid work there.
Well,
I want a beer.
Gentlemen, if y'all would introduce yourselves and your brewery, we would be grateful.
Well, guys, I'm Jamie. Jamie Eel is my name, and I am co-owner in Eccentric Brewing Company. We're a small little brewery here in Midland, Texas. Right now, we have about 16 beers on market, and we are always looking for what's new for us, looking to grow, looking to change things. We have a very distinct style about what Eccentric is, and it's been a fun ride so far, and I'm looking forward to what's next for our little project.
Well, my name is Aaron Packelhofer. I'm also co-owner at
What's your last name?
Packelhofer.
Man, that's a great last name, bro.
Packelhofer.
Hey, give that to a kid, all right?
I will. I want to see that on the back of a jersey somewhere.
So, also co-owner of Eccentric Brewing and the BREWMASTER as well. And yeah, like Jamie said, it's been a fun ride so far. and am really excited for how we're going to continue to grow in the future.
Now,
good.
when did you guys start this brewery, Eccentric Brewing?
We are 3 years old now.
3 years.
Actually, we back in July 20th was actually kind of our 3-year anniversary.
Nice.
Like a week and a half ago.
So a week and a half ago, exactly.
Beauty.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah, it does.
So
Yeah.
3
We know.
3 years now. So.
Very good. Well, so typically what we do is we have one beer that we try, and we give it a ranking 1 to 100. And then we're going to do things a little bit different this week because y'all have got an array for us to try. And I think we're going to do, are we up to what, 5?
5.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're
We'll probably add a
I hope you
sixth.
gentlemen are in for the long haul because, y'all say that y'all drink beer, but you haven't seen us drink on the brewery side.
Okay, that's a fair point.
I still got that college drinking mentality where you just throw it down until
Yeah.
you throw it up.
Well,
Shit.
we do have to drive home, so maybe we'll dial that back just a little bit.
That's why we brought the producer,
That's right. We got-
DD.
Yep. All right. Well, gentlemen, what's first on our bucket list?
So first up, I think we talked about. So El Jefe is going to be the first beer that we're going to put in front of you guys.
All right.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm wrong on that. It's actually our Hefeweizen. So we'll check that. So our Hefeweizen. So as it goes, actually, Aaron was opposed to making an actual Hefeweizen for a very long time, right?
For what reason?
Just not a style that he preferred. I
I
guess.
don't appreciate the style.
Okay.
Interesting.
Typically, most Hefeweizens are extremely strongly flavored, and for the folks out there that don't drink Hefeweizens, a Hefeweizen obviously is a German beer, and what you get out of a Hefeweizen is immense flavors from the yeast that you have your choice of 3, either bananas, bubblegum, or clove. And there's
Bubblegum.
Yeah, real sweet,
like a-
bubblegummy up front.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're usually so strongly flavored that I just was like, yeah, no.
Yep.
And so, for the past 3 years, I've been opposed to this thing of, hey, Aaron, would you make Hefeweizen? Mm-mm.
And oddly enough, on that note, it's actually been our most requested beer that we don't make.
Yes,
Wow.
this is also correct.
So we have a few beers that kind of go on and off tap, seasonally and stuff like that, and a lot of people that are, in the repertoire of what we're going to try today. We have our fuzzy little man peach, right?
God,
so that's
I'm so
a
excited for that
seasonal
one.
beer for us that goes off tap, and there's people that literally bug us about when's that coming back.
Interesting.
So that's the stuff that we make, but the Hefeweizen for us is the thing that we don't make, that we've had the most, I don't know what the crowd is calling for it, if you will.
Sure.
So,
Fair enough.
So
Now-
we had to throw it out there and try it.
Beezy, you got one in front of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's give this
Clink
one
it.
a whirl.
And drink it.
One day the guy on the Buffalo.
Yes.
All right.
I love this song.
I do too. And it felt fitting for our environment
Yep.
All right.
First beer, you might as well do the song Guy on a Buffalo.
as well. So what do you think?
On the nose, it definitely smells like a Hefeweizen.
Definitely, for sure.
On the palate, I really enjoy it. It's not near as sweet as I expected.
Me neither, which is delightful.
Yes.
Also, how is your filtering process on this one compared to maybe some industry standards, if you will?
Filtering? I'm sorry.
That's what I'm driving at.
Look, I don't.
Like, it's clear. There's no cloud to it at all.
I don't have a damn filter, either physically or mentally.
My guy right there.
I'll be honest with you. I was
My kind of
I was
peoples.
actually rather shocked that the beer cleared up the way it did. This is just all natural. We don't filter anything. It would be my opinion that filtering beer removes flavor,
Okay.
regardless of what you're filtering. It's just not something that we desire to do. So in some cases, for us, the beers come out hazy, and just please accept that because
Sure.
we feel that it's best for the beer and best for the overall drinking experience.
So for a wheat beer, this is extremely clear, and it's not filtered?
No, it's not filtered.
Interesting.
That's what we got.
Okay. Well, I like the fact that it's not overly sweet. I really
Yeah.
do. I appreciate that. And like you said earlier, it doesn't have those immediate the bubble gum, I always feel like it has like almost like a candy sweetness on the front.
What you'll find with this beer is everything in balance. So the characteristics of a Hefeweizen are that you get banana, bubblegum, and clove, and depending on the beer maker, they can influence that stronger one direction or another. So you either get like a banana bomb to the degree that you're taking a sip of beer while someone slaps you in the face with a banana peel, or maybe someone's dropped a few cloves of bunch of clove in your drink, and you're like, ew, that's spicy.
Right. And
So-
I don't necessarily mind the clove on more on the back end.
Yeah,
But
agreed.
usually the fruit overtakes so much of it, and
don't
it's
ever
so
get that.
sweet that you don't pick up that balance, I guess, is what you're trying to say. Is the balance is where it's at.
Yeah, as discussed, this was not my preference to make this beer, and so in preparation to make it, I actually did a lot of research because this is literally the first Hefeweizen I've ever made. I've been brewing beer, whether commercially or at home. I've been brewing beer since 2004.
Okay.
And I've never ever brewed a Hefeweizen, so I actually had to go and do some research on how to do it right. And the one thing I looked at was my ability to influence this process, and what I chose to do was make the beer where everything is in balance. Nothing is terribly prominent, so you get the banana, you get the bubble gum, and you get the clove, but nothing actually stands out, and they're all very nicely balanced. The other thing I did was I did some changes to the malt, so the malt kind of backs up the yeast influence a little bit, instead of just having the traditional Hefeweizen is just barley and wheat. So we changed it up a little bit to where it's not to where the malt gives you some bready, nutty flavors, which kind of balances also. Going back to balance, but balances with the yeast flavors.
Now this could be because it's fresh on my mind because we had our farmers market yesterday, and the lady always brings us banana nut bread. But I got a little taste of that kind of in right in the middle of the drink.
You absolutely should, and that was my intention. So
Hey, there you go.
I mean, hey, goals
palate.
achieved.
Check out the big brain on bread.
That's it. Good
Good
palate.
I mean, literally, my thought when I first tried it was like, shit, it worked out.
Yeah. Gentlemen, what's the price point if somebody comes in and maybe do y'all sell it as a sixer or just growlers?
So typically for us, I mean, this Hefeweizen is so the name of this beer is actually this one time we made a Hefeweizen.
Okay.
That's the name of it.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
which actually it may be a one-off beer. This may not get made again. We're not really sure yet.
Oh, shit.
We just make it up as we go along.
Okay.
So price point on this beer
Sorry.
is this can only be had at our tap room right now, and this is a $7 a pint beer.
Okay, right
So
on.
we also do growlers. So price point on a growler is $13 for a 32-ounce fill and $20 for a 64-ounce
Okay.
fill. We have
Beauty.
growlers that we can sell you.
All right,
So-
fairly reasonable.
Nice.
As a I'm putting this in the A category. Above a 90, probably more like a 92.
So the state for me, my always go-to hef is Vidmere's,
Okay,
and
which is gross.
I really liked it. But this actually has complex yet simple flavor, I guess. Is that fair to say?
It's clean on the backside, is what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave any flavor
Yeah.
resting on your palate.
Doesn't
it's
linger.
Should have stuck
Exactly.
with banana nut bread, bro.
Just clean. So,
Wow.
another little note about this beer on clarity is when we first made this beer in our bright tank, it was actually coming out and it looked like Orange Julius. It was not clear at all. Like it was a very thick beer. Even when we first put it into kegs and we served it for the first 2 days, it was a very thick beer. This beer is actually settled out in the keg. So whoever's lucky enough to get the last few pints out of those kegs,
Interesting.
Those
They're
are the
gonna get the
golden-
good stuff.
Those are the
I see.
golden drinks.
I'm not looking forward to cleaning those guys.
Yeah.
it is going to be a mess to clean.
All right, gentlemen. I think beer number one was definitely a success in our book.
Yeah, well, hands down. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
What do you feel like a rating on this one?
92.
A 92, eh? I like it. I like it. This opened my eyes in the worlds of hefts. So I think I'm going to go with a straight 90.
90, 90.
90.
Two A's.
We'll
All
take
right.
it.
What is beer number two, gentlemen?
Beer number two is going to be it's the peach, right? So
Little man peach.
yes,
Fuzzy little man peach.
fuzzy little man peach is beer number two.
Tell us
So,
the
yep.
tell us the origin of the name.
I'm old Greg.
Can you drink beer from a shoe?
Yeah, I have, in fact.
If you're a listener,
Don't you love me?
you know that just a couple of episodes we did an intro of Old Greg,
Just dedicated.
It's very fortuitous and interesting that we come along this.
Yep.
So this is called Fuzzy Little Man Peach. Tell us about this beer.
Well, Fuzzy Little Man Peach is a peach blonde ale, and we hit it very heavily with peach puree. And so what you have is a really nicely prominent peach flavor, moderate bitterness, and some good malt to back it up.
Okay.
However, it's the showcase here is the peach, and the manufacturer that we use for the puree does a wonderful job. And so with this beer, you have the peach is the forefront. That is the intention.
Okay. Well, let's give it a whirl, BZ.
All right.
All right.
Clink it and drink it.
I'm on the buffalo, down buffalo. Ain't fair, but you didn't know.
Oh, my Jesus.
I got the buffalo.
Okay.
You
So
can call me Aaron.
when
Oh, Lord.
so when you brought it out earlier, somebody said it is comparative to Shiner Peach,
No.
and it's not even close.
No.
Just,
Nothing against
Oh,
our
no,
friends in
no,
Shiner.
No, we're old time Shiner fans.
Yeah.
We're
we
not
are.
doing things the same way they are.
Okay. All right.
clearly, and it is definitely working.
So tell me on the puree.
Yeah.
Do they source those local? I know peaches are kind of hard to find in Tejas,
West
but there
Texas.
are some in southern Texas. So, do you have any idea?
Unfortunately, is the company that we source the puree from is not a Texas company.
Okay.
I would keep it at home because Texas is home 100%.
Sure.
I would keep it at home if I could,
Right.
but I think for what we've accomplished with this beer, which is absolutely our sales leader at the moment.
Interesting.
Until about September 1st,
Right.
is our sales leader at the moment. To accomplish this flavor, no, there's no one in Texas making this puree.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me anything about the brewing process? As far as this is a blonde ale, correct?
That's correct.
And again, no filter. So
Nope.
okay. It's
Just straight up delicious.
So it's interesting. Again, the clarity. Typically, on a fruit beer, if it's not filtered, you have particulates in it. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate?
That to a degree, that's accurate. I think most of the fruited beers that I get and I pour out of a bottle, they're typically, I wouldn't give it particulate. Sometimes they're a little hazy. Other times they're not. Typically, you get haziness from the pectins in the fruit.
Okay.
There's just things in the fruit that may actually just make the beer hazy. The puree that we get it's pretty fluid. There's no real solids to it.
Okay.
I will say that if you get the beer from us fresh at the shop, it tends to be a little hazy, but it does actually sell out pretty quick.
All right. I'm kind of a farm nerd, so you'll have to just deal with these
Oh,
questions.
Jesus.
On the pectin, is your puree jellied when it comes, or do you add pectin to the brewing process?
No. No, just pectin is naturally occurring in the fruit.
Right.
And so typically.
So you don't add anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I just got finished canning jellies the past 2 weeks, so it's fresh in my mind on adding pectin. I was just curious if that was part of the
Well,
brewing
if you're doing
process.
jelly, you're running that up nice and hot, so the
Right.
so the pectin actually gels up. But in this case, the pectin just makes it hazy.
I see.
the biggest thing that I like to highlight on this beer is that typically in the brewing community, particularly home brewers and stuff like that, brewers in general tend to want to have a very light touch when it comes to adding, say, a fruit or something like that to a beer. So what you end up with is a beer that somebody's calling a peach beer.
Right.
You pop it open, you smell it, doesn't smell like peach. You taste it, it doesn't taste like peach, and it's like you have to have some kind of overly sophisticated palate to find the peach in this beer. That is something that will always be off the table for Eccentric Brewing Company. If we call a beer a peach beer, you're going to know good and damn well that it's a peach beer.
Right.
And that's really what we wanted to bring in this beer is good base, solid blonde as the beer behind it, but really what you're picking up on this right off the nose, right off the front of as soon as it touches your tongue, you just got blasted with peach.
Yeah, it's funny because we actually talked about this before we got here. Was we had two other beers that are flavored with strawberry. One of them very good.
Yep.
The other one
Terrible.
I think it is right now. It is the leader
lowest.
for the worst rated beer on our list.
Other than domestics.
Yeah, well,
I'm
those
sorry,
don't even
say
count.
that again. What was it?
Go ahead.
Well, hey, we've already said
Yeah,
it.
we've said it.
It was the
Find it.
Carbach Strawberry Fields. There was
Carbach,
literally,
and it's awful.
Literally no strawberry.
There's no strawberry. Exactly. If you have to search for it, you should not say the name strawberry.
strawberry, man?
Just don't say it.
strawberry.
Just-
It's right there, man.
Just call it a beer. Just call it a beer.
Yeah.
Don't pretend it has strawberry.
Exactly.
And as brewers, we do understand that things fall off. Like we do
It's
a coconut
strawberry
stout,
color.
right?
Well-
and coconut is a hard flavor to keep in a beer over time. Over time, it dissipates.
Sure,
Beer changes
sure.
with age, whether it be in a keg bottle or whatever. It definitely changes. But with our peach beer, I mean, our first batch of this, even a year after, if you tasted the beer, peach
got
was up
peach.
front.
Right
Well,
on.
I will say, initially, I fell in love just on the nose. It smells amazing,
Smells great.
and it tastes even freaking better.
Right. And a touch of bitterness on the back end.
Yeah, just
which I
a
like.
smidge.
I don't know if y'all meant to do that.
Just a balance.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it comes, I guess,
just
with
a
that
balance.
ale, and that's typical for a blonde ale.
So the hop that I use with this is a hop called Citra hop, and typically when properly used in a beer, you get citrusy, but you also get some peachy flavors to it.
Okay.
So when when brewing this beer, knowing what I was going to do to it after it fermented, Citra was my choice of hop.
Now, where do you, again, farm nerd, and I apologize, where do you source your hops from?
Washington, Oregon, Idaho.
So West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the hop growing center of the United
Right.
States is Washington, Oregon, Idaho.
Right.
So I mean that's where all the hops grow. They grow very poorly in Texas.
Yes, I've heard.
I think there's one guy right now in Texas that is managing to grow hops.
Okay.
And,
In a greenhouse.
Yeah,
In a greenhouse, really?
And
kidding.
we are actually we have a good relationship with him, and we are hoping at one point in time to have a Texas beer with Texas hops. In
That'd
it.
be great,
we probably won't be the first to pull that off.
That'd be all right.
We'll be the best though.
I like that.
Hey, there you go.
If
you're not first, you're last.
I think what we will be able to pull off is a beer made with Texas-grown malt, Texas-grown hops, Texas-sourced yeast, and obviously Texas-sourced water. So it would be the Lone Star Estate.
Beautiful. Love it.
That's awesome.
86 for me.
86? Jesus, I
And
figured
the reason for the hit is I don't like fruit beers.
You're
fair.
So
hurt my feeling.
I apologize.
Well, here's the deal. I would assume price point is the same all around.
Absolutely.
All these pretty similar.
Tap
Okay.
room, all the pints are the same price.
And,
Okay.
And if you come in, you sit down, it's $7 for a pint for you
That's
guys?
correct, yes.
Okay. And almost everywhere I've been, that's pretty standard.
Fair, yeah.
I mean, if it's their beers, even in New Mexico, Colorado, the big craft brewing areas,
Oh, yeah.
$7 to $10 is pretty standard.
Yeah. So I'm breaking the mold.
Okay.
I'm actually giving this one my highest rating because I could.
It's just
I
because
will
of the
be,
name, bro.
No, well,
Just sucking up to
the
Old
name-
Greg because of the name.
The name itself gives it 5 points.
I'm old Greg, mate.
The name itself.
Imagine how good it
bonus
would be
5.
if you drank it from a shoe.
Here's the deal.
I got a boot.
That's gonna be a TikTok video. We're gonna make that happen.
Fair enough.
I thought that would be that OnlyFans kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true. You could probably charge a little bit for that.
Shit.
Yeah.
You very well could.
You get a picture of your wife's feet in there. You know, just bump that value up.
Have her take the boot off.
I'm sure these brew guys, they know all about increased added value to products.
Yes, noise.
It's
I
up
think
sale.
we're missing out in the income stream.
Well, my highest rated beer thus far has been a 96.
Dang, you're going to go above that?
I'm going 97.
Wow, bro.
I will be buying this.
Okay.
And probably at least 2 growlers of the big ones.
You're my best
This
friend.
is coming. This is coming home with me.
All right. Very good.
I'm gonna sleep with it, baby. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move you aside. I don't want you to warm the beer up. You're too hot.
I do need a picture of the growler in a little swaddling clothes with a little cap on in the bed.
No, bro, we're naked.
Oh, okay. All right. That's even better.
So again, about this beer,
It'd be fuzzy on fuzzy.
I'll highlight. This is one of the beers that we've had people absolutely pester us about. So when we first came out, we did this as a seasonal beer. Then we took a year off from it.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
literally had people messaging us on Facebook, you know, when can I
Right.
get that peach beer?
With the
When
French
can I
bro.
get that? Yeah.
And this
I
is your
need this.
bestseller?
Right now, you know, it's a seasonal beer, but yes, as of right now today, this is our fastest moving,
Okay.
highest volume selling beer on
Right.
the market.
All right. Let's get on to beer number 3.
What do we got for this one? Thank you, Andy.
Oh,
So we'll just let everybody in the interwebs
Nice.
know we got Andy, the GM over here at the Buffalo Nickel. She's bringing us the beers.
Do it again.
We get,
She's rocking it
I'm
out.
pretty
She's
sure,
crushing it.
Pretty sure Andy's going to be mentioned
And
like 4
I
times.
I say the Buffalo Nickel just because we have to do that, but it's actually the Buffalo Nickel.
Well, yeah, everybody understands.
So
All right. Beer number 3, which is the
Pig Slayer.
Pig Slayer. As I mentioned earlier, just the names of the beer is phenomenal.
2 points. Give them 2. I added 2 points no matter what.
Yep. All right, Beezy, you ready?
Yep. Clink it, drink it.
I highly recommend looking up the artwork for Pig Slayer as well.
And he thought to himself,
All right. Tell me about this beer.
There's sort of a long story with this beer. I will say that this is the longest running continuously made beer that I have. So this recipe actually started out in my garage, I think about 2007.
We got some tub hooch.
So originally it started out as a home brew at my house, and as we grew and we're preparing to start the brewery, we're trying to decide the beers that we were going to start initially with, and Pig Slayer was among the initial choices. I creamed multiple homebrew competitions with beer, and so it's always just been a good, solid, rocked out pale ale. It was always brewed a little bit hoppier than your standard average pale ale, and it's I don't know, it's my perennial favorite. People come in, they say, "Well, Aaron, what do you drink? What is your favorite beer?" And
Pig
a lot of
Slayer.
times you have to say, "Well, it's like asking for your favorite child." However,
Which I'm going to call bullshit. Everybody has
got a favorite.
child.
well, this is
You may
true.
not admit it, but,
But,
you got a favorite.
but
And the least favorite.
Yes.
but if you actually ask me, what is your favorite? What is it that you're drinking? It's Pig Slayer. The beer, actually, the name of the beer was wrought from. I brewed the beer on a Sunday, and then 2 days later left on a very, very successful wild hog hunting trip
Nice.
up around Wichita Falls, and I came home from that trip as the Pig Slayer.
Nice.
And
Dude.
so a
Nice.
lot of our beer names are situational, especially the stuff I made at home, it's just what is happening right now at this time of my life. So I came home as the Pig Slayer, and so that's how the beer got its name.
That's beautiful.
What was your caliber of choice on said pig hunting trip?
308.
Nice. Respectable.
See, I'd always assumed, hearing the name of this beer, that it was more one of those like bad nights at the bar where you woke up next to.
You had to jump on a grenade that night.
Yeah, exactly. You woke up the next morning, you're like, whoa.
See, that's funny because
They called me the Pig Slayer.
I automatically went to Robert Picton, which was the Pig Slayer
hilarious,
murderer.
the Pig
So we
Slayer
got
murderer.
the actual pig killer, then we got the lady pig killer, and then my twisted mind's like, the mass murderer, Robert Picton.
And here I am, the fat kid. I figured there was bacon in this bitch.
Well, look, if you want numbers, in 3 days, it was like 20 pigs.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty good numbers. Not out of a helicopter either.
No, it was on the ground.
All right, so did you use Tannerite? Because I've
No.
seen some pretty
No,
fun
that's-
videos with that.
I've seen some good videos of Tannerite. No, it was a suppressed 308.
All right.
Well,
But speaking of bacon, at some point in time, there will probably be a special edition of this beer
With bacon.
Okay.
that does have some bacon infused.
That's interesting. So on your,
Yes.
just a question on the brewing process of bacon, do you cook the bacon first or is it just,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you have, things like that. If you ever see like, we used bacon in this or an oyster stout.
Yep.
No, that stuff goes in cooked.
I see. Okay. All right.
Oysters?
You never heard of it?
I don't even want to.
I haven't seen one in a while, but yeah, legitimately,
I've heard of it.
there's
I've
an
not
oyster
tried
stout.
one.
That
but I've heard of it.
sounds god awful.
Y'all block Martin House from this podcast so they can't hear that because they will.
Which is funny because I think that's the only three-peat beer we've had on the show.
Yeah, we featured some Martin House.
All right, so we're blocking Martin House because I'm just going to say that legitimately the worst beer I've ever had in my life.
We're gonna
The
get some
worst
brewery
fucking beer
beef?
ever. So I don't know. Maybe someone lost a bet or something, but it was squid ink and menthol.
Jesus.
Wait,
and
what?
Holy
Squid ink and menthol?
shit.
No
I don't
way.
know who thought that sounded like a good idea, and y'all brought it.
Andy had this. This is Andy's fault.
You brought it. You brought it to the shop and said, "Hey, try this."
Andy with the Buffalo Nickel brings in this thing.
And you enjoyed it?
Just say.
No, I didn't enjoy
Buffalo
it.
Nickle fully supports Martin House.
Well, that's fine.
little.
And I support Martin House as long as it's not squid ink and menthol.
I'm gonna have to find out some info on that particular beer.
We're going to put it on the podcast. Fuck it.
I don't know. Pizza beer? They have- okay, we got to
Dude,
talk
what?
afterwards. All right, so pale ale, the Pig Slayer.
Pig Slayer.
So would you call this your flagship brew? Maybe.
Yeah, I would call this. I think we have probably about 4 beers in our repertoire that we would call our flagships, and absolutely yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm a pale ale fan, and I actually got introduced to quote unquote craft beer from Sierra Nevada's Pale Ale, going back to my college days, and that was what we could find on the shelf. And I fell in love with that beer. This is 10 times better than that particular beer.
Oh,
Now-
my heart's gonna leap out. I'm gonna throw a bone to the guys at Sierra Nevada because their pale ale stands up to the test of time.
Absolutely.
That is the benchmark. When I drink someone else's pale ale, that is the benchmark that I measure a pale ale against.
Well, see, and I just measured y'all's against theirs.
Well, I know. It's better.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, absolutely.
Right.
That's the level.
So where do
Beauty.
you put, off topic, but on the same topic, where do you put their Torpedo? That was the very first IPA I ever had, and it's still one that I will occasionally drift back to.
I like Torpedo a lot. It is a really good IPA.
It's super bitter and crisp.
Yeah.
I really like that about it.
the crispness of that IPA to me is what sold it to me, because
Okay.
again, it's a guy who does not go in and drink massive IPAs can actually enjoy that beer.
Right, right. And it's, what, 7.5, I think?
It's a solid beer.
Roughly.
Yeah, 7.5 rate. Now, what is this ABV on your pale ale here?
6.
6.0.
Okay.
I think it's really kind of hard to equate their pale ale to torpedo, and let me see if I can't get my thoughts straight here. A pale ale, an American pale ale, and an IPA are very closely related. They're brother beers. Where with an IPA, you kind of just do whatever you want, and you can go hog wild.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Pixelate
But an American pale ale is supposed to be a hoppy beer,
Right.
but with restraint.
Okay.
So you're not just going over the top. So that's kind of the difference. So you asked me about Sierra Nevada Pale Ale versus Torpedo. A pale ale should always be hoppy with restraint.
Okay. And I guess what I meant was Torpedo compared to other IPAs, if y'all thought it would, measured up to other industry IPAs. And again, those were my introductions into craft beer.
I dig Torpedo, but I think that there would be other IPAs that I would pull off the shelf first.
Yeah, me too. Now.
The problem with the IPA is just that in the world of breweries, it's the most bastardized beer on the market. So everybody does whatever the hell they want.
Right.
Throw a shit ton of hops in it.
Yep.
And we call it an IPA.
That's right.
And that's what it is. So it's a really hard category to, for what you guys are doing, even going in and just assigning a score to it, it's really hard to go and pick 3 IPAs off the market and even find a comparative link in them besides the fact that they're smashed with hops.
Interesting.
So
All right.
it's a truly bastardized style right now.
Okay. All right. Very good. Beer
That's
number 3.
fair.
This pale ale, it would be amazing at a barbecue.
Oh, hell
End
yeah.
of the day after doing some yard work.
For sure.
If you had to choose this over some of the
Sugar Plum for
not
3.
domestics, but some of the other lighter beers that we've had, this is part and parcel better.
Yeah.
So this is the working man's beer. I would definitely.
It's man's beer.
It is, and there's no frills. You don't pretend that there's any frills. It's just
No, not at all.
Here it is. And I really like that. I appreciate that too.
Full disclosure, you're talking all pale ale, and mine has been gone
Yeah.
for some time now.
That's saying something
my
for old
bad,
BZ.
man.
So that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fan of the pale ales,
Okay.
and I'm gonna give it an 88.
Okay. So if we did
Take it.
If we did Sierra Nevada, I know for a fact that I'd put it in the mid 80s. I'm going to put this at a 91.
Oh shit!
Take that too.
Solid scoring, fellas. Thank you.
91.
And they
91 in the books.
and y'all didn't bribe us just for legal sake. We're legit giving scores here.
And we were, I'll be honest with you guys, full disclosure, we were a little worried.
Yeah, we really were.
I was like, oh, God, I really hope these beers aren't shit, because this is going to be really awkward if we're just shitting all over their beers.
Oh yeah. That's if we gave y'all shit. Well, I'm gonna give this a 50. And I'm over here crying.
You never know what you're going to get out
You
of
really
the local
don't.
That's exactly
brewery.
right.
I
That's
mean,
exactly
they can
right.
be great. They
Yep.
can be
Like a box of chocolate.
not. Exactly.
Well, we have a brewery in my little town, or in the bigger town outside of it, and it's so bad, I would rather have no beer than to go there and drink their beer. It's really, really bad.
Can I take a flight of water, please?
I mean, it's
Ooh, would you like tap water, bottled water?
Yes.
Don't
Give me tap. Oh, how many minerals are in the tap? Because I need something to wash this shit
Do
out
y'all
of
have
my
any
face.
Coors Light in the back? Because this is awful.
Well,
Exactly.
If you want water, I mean, there's always Mick Ultra.
That's right.
The worst feeling as a brewery operating in a tap room is when someone comes up and says,
Oh, yeah.
"Do you have Miller Lite?" And it's like,
No.
Get out.
Let me give you this ice
Get
water.
out. All right. What is beer number 4?
beer number 4 is going to be Old Sugar Plum. So Old Sugar Plum.
Oh, sugar plum.
Yeah, exactly. So Old Sugar Plum is a seasonal offering from us as well. This is our Christmas beer.
Okay.
So typically this beer is going to come out typically before Thanksgiving, because this is a perfect beer to have at the end of your Thanksgiving dinner. This is a big, huge, massive stock ale of a beer.
Okay.
This particular one was aged in a brandy barrel. So what you're looking at here is, were we 15.5% on this? Is that right?
Good
15.
grief.
15% beer.
Okay.
Basically, what a stock ale is, particularly a barrel-aged stock ale, this is going to be what port wine is to wine. What you guys should get out of this should be stone fruits, cherries, dates, raisins, that kind of thing.
Currents.
Lots of currants.
It's a little podcast
Absolutely.
joke. All right, Beezy, let's try it real quick.
All right. Clink it.
Oh,
Drink
that's
it.
a different sort of clink, wasn't it?
That's true. We should note we are enjoying this out of the little what are they? Glencairn style glasses. So you
Not
can
me.
actually
I got
get
a
the
pint
nose.
glass here.
Yeah, except Aaron, he got a pint glass.
hope
like
you
a
didn't-
fucking savage.
I hope you didn't.
I love it.
I hope you didn't fill
Yeah,
up the
thanks,
pint
guys.
glass.
I made this.
I should have been the one with the pint
Be
glass.
crawling home.
Oh,
So
my
I feel
Lord.
like now, okay, I'm going to circle back to you guys.
Sure.
I feel like we need to go back
To last week's
and give
episode.
Avery's beer another shot, because with their context that they have put into this particular beer, it makes that beer make more sense.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which Avery did y'all have?
Yeah, what was
It was
Avery?
called
Tweak.
Tweak,
Oh.
and so you'll have to go back
You guys
to
did good.
That
Okay.
like
You did good.
20% coffee stout.
Yeah.
yes. So
You did good.
we got it by accident. I bought a mixed 6-pack and it was on the shelf, and I got
It's
it.
like a $15 12-ounce bottle.
Okay.
No, 18 at
Yeah.
HEP in
so you
Midland.
basically stole beer.
No, I didn't. That's the thing.
No, he paid full price.
I got to the counter and they're like, you have to scan them individually, and I was like, cool. So $2.50, $3, and then I got to that, and it was like $18.50, and I was like, what the heck is this? And it's
Ski
just a
mask came on.
Hey, they're only 15 bucks at the brewery.
But anyway, we kind of narrowed into the conclusion that it was like a dessert beer or
Yeah.
a port
Yeah.
to a beer. So that makes a lot more sense. Now this one is better than that because of the complexity of flavor.
Yeah.
Well, you
Avery
know,
was one note.
well,
It
okay,
was
very,
so
very
let's just be
coffee
clear
and
that let's just be that clear. Tweak is like this immensely strong stout. It's a gimmick beer.
Okay.
It's this just immensely strong stout
And super,
with
super
loads
syrupy
of
sweet.
coffee as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
It's a one-note beer. It's a gimmick beer. This is not a gimmick beer.
I'm
This
correct.
is intended to be as complex as we can.
I'm pretty sure in the Avery beer there's some kind of a concentrate that they're using that as well. There's something.
Well,
I would agree.
I
That
don't
it was
know, but-
thick.
There-
the
there's-
beer itself was
Yeah,
thick.
this is what happens in a lot of these beers is again, back to Martin House, you have a lot of syrups going into these things. You have
Sure.
a lot of concentrates going into these things, and they have a certain flavor. I mean, even with like
It's that extract twang.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's an
Yep.
extract twang, if you will. Even with our peach beer, if we move from a puree to an extract, that is a completely different beer.
Oh, sure.
Gotcha.
So
Sure.
So with-
Extract is terrible.
there's an extract flavor. I'm not opposed to extract, honestly. Like I actually, there's some extract beers that
Yeah, well, I am.
I think if it's used right, it can taste good.
Okay,
If
that's
it's
fair.
used wrong, it sits on top and is weird.
All right.
So that's
Yeah,
what. It
but
is.
he's absolutely correct.
This is a no extract beer.
Yeah.
Correct.
And actually, you know, in terms of his discussion on an extract, the one thing that I note in a lot of beers of this type is coconut beers, and I can taste that extract flavor a mile
Sits
away.
right up
Yep.
on top.
Yep.
And it does have a twang. It has a bad taste to it.
Okay.
So
and I hate to keep crapping on Martin House, but their ejecto seat, cuz, do you remember that?
Ejectocito,
It had that coconut heavy right on the front, and it never went away. There was no balance to it at all.
All the Martin House stouts are basically an adjunct beer.
Okay.
Where basically they're using the same base with a different extract on top. And some of them work a whole lot better than others. Take
Sure.
Columbiana versus Ejectocito versus
Now, is that why they can pump out so many different kinds? Because they just take
there's
like
hundreds of
the
beers.
base beer and then
Same base beer.
okay, interesting.
Gotcha.
Good to
Well,
know.
and if we're talking about especially like things like coconut or something like that, you have if you add coconut to a beer, you have time that coconut needs to sit with the beer. Whereas if it's just an extract, you dump that in and go.
I got you.
And
Industry secret.
Let's start brewing some beer, bro.
No, I'm gonna let them do it, and I'll just buy what they do.
Fair enough. Let's just tell them.
On the note with that time, there's a window of time where natural things fall off. That's the beautiful thing about extract is when you put extract in, it stays that way forever.
I see.
Never
Right.
goes away.
With natural, like you put natural coconut in something, there's a window of time where you
got a
get that.
half-life.
And
Okay.
exactly. Yes.
Interesting. All right,
Yes.
very good. I love this.
I'm
96.
hard.
Are you gonna hurt my feeling?
It took me. It took
I
me
forgot
about.
one. You're gonna hurt my feeling.
That man knuckle is dripping.
It took me 2 seconds to realize what you were trying to get across.
So here's the deal. I've already got last week's episode pulled up on our ratings. I gave the Avery a 73. Pinewood did 68.
It was so
Super
horrendously
syrupy, super
syrupy
thick.
sweet.
Yeah.
that I couldn't.
Rough. And you said what now?
A 96. This tastes like
96.
a beer, but it presents like a dessert style beer or a port, but it
That's
still tastes
the
like
intention,
a beer.
actually.
Well, okay, so I'm sure it was with Avery also,
Nailed it.
They failed.
but it was so
Horribly.
syrupy sweet.
Well, Avery makes so many of these, like above 15% beers that are syrupy and just, I'm not going to call them terrible, but you take a 12-ounce ball and you want to split it up between 5 or 6 different friends because
Correct.
that's all you can put down.
That's
Now,
all you can afford.
You said this was 14.
That too.
That's true. This was 14 and a half.
Everybody pitch in.
15%. But it still tastes like a beer. And,
Yeah.
and that's surprising for me because the ones that we've had, especially the ones from the bigger breweries, they're so syrupy and it's not pleasant to drink for a beer guy.
I
Now,
want
if you're
this-
a port guy or something like that, maybe that's the market they're after. But for a bitter beer drinking kind of guy,
Bitter beer face?
definitely none of that with this.
So
This would go great with a cobbler, something sweet.
here's
hot.
the thing.
Bread
I
pudding.
need y'all
For sure.
to get a hold of a Cincy rep. and figure out how to throw this bitch in a Cincy.
You could do this one
I need
and the
this in
banana
my-
nut on the head. I mean,
Oh,
man, you
hell.
could have a pretty nice smelling home.
Well, what you call that is a baby maker. You call that the 2021 baby boom.
there you go.
And you sell them as a pair.
if we're talking about our beers in that context, we call Fuzzy Little Man Peach a panty solvent.
Nice.
That's fair.
I like that.
So on that note, with our fuzzy little man peach, we also have a seltzer that we keep on tap
Okay.
in our place. It's a 6% seltzer. So
Okay.
one of the unique things is we have people that come in that want to mix the fuzzy little man peach
Oh, with the,
along with the seltzer.
Okay,
I'll be dang.
that's interesting.
It's penny solvent ultra.
Yeah, we like to call that mix the ultimate white girl.
I like that.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
yes.
All right, so tell me, is kind of derailing from the conversation a little bit.
We've
Do you-
derailed many times.
We have. As a
To be fair, that's literally how this podcast goes.
Typically.
most episodes.
and
That's
usually
how Eccentric Brewing Company works as well.
and a lot of times we don't even circle back and answer the original question. But anyway, that's the way it is.
To be foul.
Do you feel like as a brewery, as a brewmaster, that the seltzer is becoming necessary to stay in the game, or is it something you're just kind of adding on to help supplement? I've been told that beer's phasing out and seltzer's phasing in. I find that really hard to believe.
I'm going to let Aaron answer this question in his his form, and then I'm going to circle back on
Okay.
this one because there are honestly 2 answers to this.
All right, fair point.
I think I think for my part, really similar to the Hefeweizen, but my reaction was actually worse. Jamie's suggestion was, "Hey man, I think you should work on a seltzer," and my reaction was, "Are you fucking serious?" and also that came with that was, "Fuck you."
Fair. Probably.
True. This is
Would
a
have
true
been
story. This is a very true story.
Would have been along my similar answer.
Now, I think going along with that was making the seltzer. Making the seltzer was difficult because if you go to the Googles and you
Google machines?
to the Google machines.
Oh, hell.
With an interweb.
Yeah, with an
What the fuck's
interweb.
the internet?
If you go and you look up just beer recipes, you're gonna get way more information than you ever wanted. However, if you look up how to make a seltzer, there's not a terrible amount of information available, and so I had to spend a lot of time with quite a few failures trying to make this damn thing, and I finally figured it out.
Several homebrew batches.
I mean, I was making it, at the 5-gallon homebrew level, because I'm not gonna blow.
Of
hundreds
course.
Not going to ruin a tub.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, but it took time. Took some work. It took me 6 months and a whole lot of trying to figure out how to make the seltzer. But part of that was the flavor, but the other part was the clarity because a seltzer is crystal clear.
Right.
So I had to work on that.
artificial.
Right.
So with a beer, haze is completely acceptable.
Correct.
With a seltzer, haze is not acceptable.
no.
When you come out
Which is
with
interesting because they taste like chalk.
I know, right?
well, when you come out with a gray seltzer,
Yeah,
no
it's
one
probably
wants
not
it.
great.
Oddly enough, yeah, it's weird.
To be fair, I'm the guy that would probably be like, what color is it? Hook that shit up.
Martian gray.
Martian Gray.
Dude, I've got to give that one a sample.
So the seltzer, from my perspective, is a little bit different thing because what I look at this as is it's stretching what you do. It's easy as a brewer, as an artist, as whatever it is that you do in life. I don't care what it is. If you're a salesman in the oil field, it's easy to settle in and deal with a known quantity every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you really need is that curveball in life that tells you, let's do something different. Let's explore new territory. Let's do something that we've never done before. And for us, that's what that seltzer was. We didn't necessarily want a seltzer. I don't drink the seltzer, but I'm incredibly proud of what we made because I know the work that we had to put into to adjust for the curveball that the seltzer gave us.
Do you feel like I interrupted you? I apologize.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think that if we decided to stop making the seltzer, we'd have a whole lot of pissed off people.
And then there's that. Yes,
Okay, all right.
It has been a crowd pleaser.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
I'll be damned.
And my other comment was, as far as making the seltzer, after the first thing we did was we went to the grocery store and like basically bought every seltzer we could find.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And
I think we
sat-
did one of those.
And we sat at the
We
shop.
were
There
white girl drunk.
there are 4 or 5 of us sitting in the shop making notes, drinking every seltzer that we find. We had Bud Light, Truly, White Claw, and
I'll be damned.
there was something else.
Wild Basin?
And Wild Basin, yes. We went and bought
Topo Chico?
we went and bought 12 packs, and we just sat there and opened every different one, making notes. And God bless, we were white gold wasted at the end. What I do appreciate out of the seltzer is, after along with Jamie's comments, was it posed a very unique challenge that really stretched my abilities, and I think I came through at the end.
Very good. Do you feel like, real quick, and we'll get to our last beer, do you feel like when the seltzers hit, that they hit and then everybody jumped on the bandwagon, and do you feel like we're coming off of that high into it leveling out, or do you feel like it's just going to continue to grow? Because it seems like every single company now is coming out with a
Michelob.
seltzer.
I think
Bud Light.
I think
All
it's
of them.
going to it's going to level out. If you look at the grocery store aisle, there's so much seltzer, and from every Tom, Dick, and
they've
Harry,
literally
in the
taken
world.
away beer that I drink to add more seltzers.
Which
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and-
bananas.
And we're in Lubbock,
But
which is
but-
a big
College
university.
Yep.
So now they have an entire lane
Ain't no
Of
laws
just-
when you can claw. No. I think that you're going to see a bit of leveling on this market, but I don't think that you're going to see seltzers go away for a very long time. If you think of what a seltzer is, it's what the industry calls an alco pop. It's this light, fruity flavored thing that you just drink the snot out of.
An
And
alco pop.
those things have
That sounds
never
awesome.
ever gone away. I'll show my age and I'll just say Barrels and James back in the day. These two guys sitting on a porch in a rocking chair talking about their Barrels and James wine cooler, but what they were was an alco pop. And
Sounds like a German car.
So they have one of the
Followed
goofy
by
ass little
Zima.
bottles.
alco pop.
Followed by Zima, and then obviously Smirnoff Ice.
Oh, so Zimas and the Smirnoff Ice.
You cannot appreciate the Zima. Look,
I hate to admit how much Zima we
these
drink.
things have, these beverages have existed on the market in some capacity for basically 30 plus years.
Sure.
And they're not going away.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
definitely a market for them.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. Well, and
So-
one of our sponsors is a pretty good seltzer brewery.
I haven't tried it yet.
It's okay. I
We
really
got them
like it.
chilling. They're
No,
chilling.
No. I'm actually very. I will say that when we're setting up and talking about this, I was looking at it, and it's actually unique among the seltzer category.
Sure.
Made with coconut water,
Yep.
wine based.
Yep. It doesn't drink like one.
No,
I think that's why I
I'm
like it.
Really, really anxious to try this. I legitimately want to give it a shot.
I'm
Sure.
ready. Can't wait.
Okay.
Can't wait.
Cocoa Cocktail's giving you a little shout out.
Hey.
So send us that royalty check when you get a
Yeah,
chance.
boy.
Wait, do we get a
Franz,
do we
Franz,
get,
we
do we
love
get
you.
a bump for just being anxious to try?
I think
Dollar bills, y'all.
I think
Make
what
it
we
rain! Make it rain!
I think what we've done today is we've created beef between Midland and Martin,
Yes.
and hopefully y'all can capitalize on that.
I don't have a beef with Martin. I
do.
want
I
them-
do. I'll put it on record right now. I do.
He
I want
coming in
them to
hot.
explain-
Coming in
I
hot.
want them to explain
But the
why
Buffalo
squid
Nickle
ink and
doesn't.
menthol. Why squid ink and menthol?
All right, so no squid ink menthol. However, if I find that, I'm definitely going to try it.
We're totally putting that on the show.
And pizza beer.
And
If you
pizza
guys do not review pizza
Is
beer,
that on?
That
Is
is
that
the-
Martin House?
that is
That's the
a
thing.
real thing.
Wow.
So
All right.
You just need one can. Ever.
Okay. Done. Dunskies. All right.
I'm super excited.
Let's
All right,
do
wait,
our
we got
final
one more.
beer.
We got one more.
Beer number 5, and this is what?
This is our barrel aged FMJ. So FMJ is the full malt jolt. That is our.
I was really hoping it's
that is
Full
our-
Metal
that is
Jacket.
our year-round stout.
Okay.
So we took FMJ and we threw it in some Willets barrels, and we forgot about it for a year.
Interesting.
a year. So little unique thing about Eccentric Brewing Company. Actually, I used to be a gun manufacturer. Aaron is a unique gun owner in that he is a. He's
So y'all
a
got
machine
like
gun
y'all got
owner.
like 2/3 of the ATF.
Yes.
Like all up in your business.
We get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of the ATF up in my business personally, but
So let
that's a
me
different
ask you.
story.
We've got this cigar opportunity. You want to just do a full Monty?
Absolutely, I'm all in.
You
on
just
this.
get all 3 of those letters and
So,
be good
so
to go.
I am a firm believer in the idea that the ATF should be a convenience store.
Hey, I agree, 100%. Yep.
Or fuck those guys.
Speaking my language.
So, and the little thing about Eccentric Brewing Company, if you notice, we have names like FMJ, we have names like Shrapnel, Tactical
our amber
Nuke.
ale.
Yeah, exactly.
Tactical
Shrapnel, yeah,
Nuke?
exactly.
I like that.
I'm
These
super
are our
excited
beers.
about
So-
that one.
So, Pig Slayer, which comes from,
Hunting story.
the day of slaying the pigs,
Nice.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, we use that word. We throw that one around here a
Right.
lot.
Exactly. I didn't personally see it. But to talk about this double barrel aged Willet Stout FMJ that we have, so I will say that Christmas beer for Aaron, our Old Sugar Plum, like he claims that as our pinnacle. Like that's the one that he's most proud of. the double barrel aged stout is the one that I am most proud of. This is a truly unique beer for us. Our FMJ stout is a year-round stout that we produce, so you can get this on tap at various places. You can get it at our place. We keep this is our constant beer that we put out.
Beauty.
So FMJ stout by itself is it's almost like a coffee stout, right?
Okay.
So it has a good solid bitter note up front, a little smooth stout on the back end, right? The funny thing about this beer is that as it ages, it changes tremendously. And what happens is that coffee, and there's no coffee in the beer, it's all from malt, but what happens is over time, that bitter from that coffee flavor in the malt falls off, and what we get is this really nice chocolate up front.
Okay.
So while this was sitting in a Willets barrel for a year, we end up with this nice chocolate up front, followed by this nice bourbon kick in the back end.
Okay.
Really sweet.
Let's try it real quick.
This beer is only available at our brewery in Bombers.
Okay.
All right, let's clank it. Drink and drink it.
Okay, so tell me on... I'm going to have to edit that. What?
Yes.
Hot chop.
Exactly. Double edit. We had a double edit moment because the beer was so fantastic.
It was so good, we're speechless.
He had a stroke. Hey, throw your fuck bombs in. Might as well.
Get
Fuckity
it in.
fuck 'em fuck.
Get it in now. That's probably staying.
Yeah.
Just for good grins. All right, so let's circle back to the beer here in a second. Answer a question for me.
Sure.
It's beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Oh,
Hang
you
on.
weren't asking me?
No.
Okay.
I have no desire.
Well, who are you asking?
No desire to hear opinion from you on this.
You were literally staring into my eyes, and I was turned on.
Trying to
And
tell you.
it's even
Did you
worse
just say you were
because
turned on when I was staring into your eyes?
well,
Wait,
it's because I had a drink.
Was it the stare or?
No, it was the beer. I am 3/4 mast right now.
Everyone just got a far more attractive.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to happen in a bar. But,
Hell yeah.
All right, so can a beer, once you bottle it, can it continue an aging process?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we had talked about this last week.
We did.
However, not all beers age. Like
Correct.
So for Eccentric Brewing, I would tell you that most of our beers are not brewed or otherwise designed to set up an age.
Okay.
Old Sugar Plum is designed to set up an age, and I think the old. We didn't get into the backstory of Old Sugar Plum. I've made Old Sugar Plum for years, and so I have a library of these beers at home. I think the oldest one I have was made in 2007.
Oh, wow.
I have one bottle left, and it's going to be like the ultimate special occasion.
Of course.
Should have brought it.
I don't think we qualify, bro.
When that 15-barrel system runs the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
All right. It's a big life-changing experience.
This beer will age, I think, for probably a couple years, but I it's already spent a year on a barrel.
Right.
And
all of
barrels breathe, of
course.
and so I don't think this beer will set up and age as well as Old Sugar Plum will, but this beer will also age.
But even in the bottle, it will continue some sort of
will
aging
continue
process.
to develop.
I see. All right. Any other thoughts on this particular beer?
Well, what I'll say is the base beer behind this is our FMJ Stout, and to be honest, the way that FMJ aged surprised us. It's not something that we expected.
Surprised the shit out of me.
I mean,
So
honestly,
this is the accidental
I made
hero.
it.
The accidental hero.
just putting it in a bottle. Like,
What do we
like-
say?
Oops. Right.
No.
Exactly. So, we had this epiphany moment where basically I bottled some of this beer, stuck it in my fridge. It had been there for 9 months, and I pop it open. This is while FMJ is in the barrels with the Willet barrels doing their thing, right? And I pop open this barrel at home of just our straight standard FMJ, and I drink it at the house. And I text Aaron, and I'm like, "Hey, man, this beer's done something weird.
Interesting.
It's good.
Okay.
It's weird though. This is not what we expected." So
All
I'm
right.
just amazed you can let a beer sit around for that long.
Me too. How was the process in procuring those barrels?
Says the guy with a beer from 2007.
Well, I mean, you know,
I don't know.
Respect to the craft is all I was.
It wasn't terrible getting the barrels.
Okay.
You got to know where to look.
I see. All right. Well, you can taste it. You can almost feel that aging process in the beer, and I love the initial kick of the stout with that malt finish.
What's insane is the middle to the back end is like you just took dark chocolate bark and threw it on your tongue, and it's just sitting there. Oh, and it hangs out, and it's delicious. And
It's okay. That's all right. So there is, if you would have told me it was a chocolate stout, if you would have told me it was a coffee stout,
yeah.
you could have told me like 6 different things, and I'd have been like, "Oh hell yeah, I could definitely taste that."
There's no chocolate.
No chocolate.
Complication is good sometimes.
Yeah. So I can even get a little bit smokiness of the barrel, and maybe that's some.
I think
That's on the burp, actually,
one
if you-
very particular characteristic that I get out of the beer that came very specifically from the barrel. Sorry, this is now my 5th beer.
Good on you.
Is there's a really good vanilla note in there, and there's no vanilla in the beer, and
See, there's another
honestly, when you drink the stout fresh, absolutely no vanilla, but you get vanilla out of this, and that 100% came from the barrel.
All right.
My God.
Ranking? What you got?
You go first.
87.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to sit here and collect thoughts. My
Mark it
nipples have punched through my shirt.
Over the
said
line, Donnie.
87?
Mark it 0.
I hope you're
87?
at full staff.
Yes, sir.
87, eh?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hurry up. We gotta get to the end of this.
All right.
BZ does like the added draw of anticipation.
I've watched far too many one of those stupid-ass reality shows.
Everything's more dramatic with commercial break.
No, that's a fair point. Let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors.
So
We're
about
just
that
kidding.
Choco
Let's go.
94.
94.
94. 94.
All right.
That's coming home with me.
Okay. Well, yeah, apparently you're bringing all of them home with you.
So how about a producer's rating here? I mean, do we have
the
a
producer taste?
Yeah, producer rating.
The producer rating is 95.
She's coming in hot. Not only was she coming in with a higher score than everybody, but she was over in the background going, or whatever you were doing. It was
All of them, rated
it was
all of
good.
them.
All right, gentlemen, if y'all would, we really appreciate this.
Yes.
More than you know. It
Actually,
means a
it's our
whole
pleasure.
bunch.
It's
A whole
ass.
bunch.
This has been the best.
It's been a
afternoon
blast.
ever.
Yeah, I look forward to coming down and visiting you guys. My in-laws live in Midland, so it gives me an excuse to, maybe get out of the house a little bit when we visit, and so I'll come see you. And tell us a little bit, or tell us one last time about your brewery, where to find you, all that good stuff. Plug away.
So we are Eccentric Brewing at 1402 Cotton Flat Road in Midland. We don't have a terribly large system, but we rotate 16 beers on and off tap. We are on tap at various bars and restaurants around Midland, Odessa, Pecos, and Fort Stockton. Yeah, sorry.
Including the Buffalo Nickle.
My bad. Look,
Don't forget the folks that we recording at.
I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, including the Buffalo Nickle, who has graciously hosted us this afternoon.
And turned away people who were trying to walk in while we're giving this podcast.
Yeah.
With the most awesome T-shirts that I've ever seen. Beer o'clock. It was beer o'clock. They had matching beer o'clock T-shirts.
It was pretty
and she
epic.
turned them away so that we could do this.
I think they were so drunk that they actually thought they were in Fredericksburg at this moment.
I wonder if they tried to roll by our place.
All right, and everybody can find y'all on Facebook under Eccentric Brewing, and if you can't spell that like old Beezy, ECCENTRIC Brewing Company, and man, we appreciate you guys.
And also
Yes.
Instagram as well.
Instagram as well?
Oh,
Instagram
shit.
as well.
All right.
Got the IG. We done got blocked off of the IG.
We sure
so-
did. They took us off. I don't know what happened.
Oh, those jerks.
Yep.
Y'all are very white.
There's
We drank too many Coca-Colas.
Jamie, you are the whitest. Jamie, you are the whitest of all of us with your red hair, sir.
That's a valid point.
it's like the pot calling the kettle white.
Pot calling the kettle cracker.
All right, gentlemen, thank y'all so much.
Yes.
All right, Beezy, good times.
Yes.
Let's get out of here and close out our episode.
Noise. Hey, Pywoon, what you drinking?
Well, I felt like something a little fruity, so I got me a mango IPA.
Get that crap out of here.
Hey, bro, what the French, man?
You got to give this cocoa cocktail a try.
What is it, a cocoa connection?
Nah, bro, come on. It's Cocoa Cocktail. It's the newest craze in the seltzer game. It's a vitamin-infused, all-natural, non-GMO, spiked, sparkling coconut water. It's literally the future of alcohol.
Come on, man. The future of alcohol, that's a little heavy-handed.
Bro, I'm telling you, even the aliens are drinking this stuff.
You mean like the space
Like
lizards?
the space lizards? Oh, dude, you know what? We should totally stock up on this for the life ship.
Ooh.
I mean, the people are going to want a sweet, tasty beverage, eh?
But we got to give the people what they want.
Got to give them the best, bro.
Well, Hellfire, you won me over. Let me try that thing. Well, dang, son, that's delicious. I don't know why you had to use all those highfalutin flowery words, but that key lime seltzer speaks for itself.
Well, I tell you what's even better. All of our listeners get a banging discount when they order on Cocoa Cocktail's website.
Well, shoot, man, what's that website?
That website is www.cocococktail.com. That is COCOCOCKTAIL.com. And enter promo code FWTG7 when you order an 8-pack and FWTG12 when you order a 24-pack.
Do I get that discount when I order?
I mean, so long as you use the promo codes, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Do you think Cocoa Cocktails would send me that koozie?
Yeah, that's going to be a hard no, bro.
Cocoa Cocktail is an alcoholic beverage, and you must be 21 years old to enjoy, and please drink responsibly.
Now get on them interwebs and order you some, you plumpable some bitches, and cheers to your health.
Dude, fun episode.
Yes.
You know what it makes me think about?
Drinking some more beer.
That, too, but also...
Moving on up. F&A Cotton.
Tell you what,
F&A.
I was kind of serious at the beginning. I feel like royalty. Like everybody treated us well and gave us beer, and we're about to go smoke some cigars.
I'd venture to say
You literally
the best
cannot
beer.
speak at the moment.
Literally some of the best beer. My highest rated beer thus far.
Yeah, that's true.
For libations.
Right.
And I never thought anything was going to cripple that one.
All right. Now, I know some of you might think that because we're on site, we're face to face with the owners, and
Yep.
it's their babies, that we would maybe err on the side of caution and give them a little extra. I actually judged harsher than I would
Because of
have
that.
normally. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident. Our lowest was an 86, I think, on one.
86, yeah.
And that was mainly because I don't like fruit beers.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And so I was very happy. If you're in Midland, make sure to check these guys out. And another thing you can do is your local bars, your local places that you go that have beer on tap, you
Yes.
can tell them about their brewery.
Yes.
And that helps them. So
Yeah.
if you can get their beers,
Request it.
yeah, and it helps them. They appreciate it, and I promise you'll appreciate it if you can get some of these beers.
Definitely.
And if you're-
Any of the 5 that we did today,
Yep.
for sure needs to be in your local bar.
And I know for a fact several of them are coming home with us.
Well, I might go broke. However,
Totally
totes worth it.
Yep. I did like the chink in the background just then. That was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
That was a nice touch.
That worked out
All
nicely.
right. How about let's do some news dates and get
News
out of
dates.
here. News dates.
News dates.
It's almost as bad as Pud Tuple.
Oh, pud coupling. Oh, Lordy Pete. I got some news updates for you today.
Beauty. All right. Hit us.
We don't have any updates, but
You're such a buzzkill.
Yeah. Well, we got to keep them guessing, right?
All right. Yep.
So, one of the greatest things about this podcast is meeting new people, meeting new breweries,
Agreed.
meeting new locations, all that good
And
stuff.
typically we have to meet them on like Facebook or something.
Yeah,
But-
for sure.
But this time, face
Oh, Lord.
to face.
Somebody just
Hey,
dropped.
it's not a pub if people aren't fighting.
Exactly.
Somebody's throwing blows around here. That's just the nature of the ball game.
So, first and foremost, we want to heavily thank Andy for allowing us the opportunity to record here at the Buffalo Nickle. This place is gorgeous.
Great.
If you're a cigar smoker,
Yep.
like we are, or enjoy tasty beverages, like we do,
Right.
or most of the brews that we had today,
Yeah.
they have that shit on tap.
That's right.
So,
Come check it out.
highly suggest coming out here and checking these guys out. This is Buffalo Nickle here in Midland, Texas. Want to go have a look at them guys. The other one we want to do is thank Aaron and Jamie. These guys were awesome.
Thank you guys very much. Such a privilege.
And just for everybody that's listening, Aaron has been sitting here the entire time we've recorded and been making faces
Yeah.
to try and make us slip up.
Right. And man, I'm rock.
Rock steady, steady rocking all night long.
It is difficult to keep your eyes peeled front whenever
When
you
you're
got
looking at this.
a middle-aged man shaking his moneymaker at you.
Oh, shake the moneymaker. Aaron,
All right.
and
What else you got?
we want to thank, as always, we've got to thank our sponsor, Coca Cocktail, and
Yep.
then we want to also thank our affiliates, Ballsy. Go over there, hit their website, check it in the affiliate links. Use promo code FWTG15, 15% off.
Be great.
Manly Man Company. Oh, another bar fight.
More fisticuffs.
More fisticuffs. Who cares? Manly Man. And then we also want to thank Bottle Keeper as being another affiliate. As we always close it out, we want to thank the OGs and the newbies.
And I know we got some new listeners this week,
Yes.
and we appreciate you guys.
And and hopefully at least two of them were on the show today.
that's true. That is true.
Could be fun.
All right. And always.
And we have to end with the wives.
And one of them actually drove us down here.
Yeah. And she's legitimately driving us back.
I am glad you're not driving back.
Yeah. Well, shit,
For
me too.
sure. For sure. All right. Very good. Let's close out with a little ponder this.
Ponder this. If plastic is made out of petroleum and petroleum is made out of fossils and fossils are dinosaurs, then plastic dinosaurs are real dinosaurs.
Dino DNA.
Boom! Dino DNA.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you find dino DNA in plastic dinosaurs?
Oh, shit. Technology's not far enough along to do that yet.
Wonderful.
Beauty.
What else you got? Anything? Any closing thoughts?
That's it, my friend.
All right.
Go see Eccentric. Come check out Buffalo Nickle. And prepare yourself for some awesome.
Buffalo! So, real quick,
Okay.
because we're in the Buffalo Nickle,
Yeah.
have you ever seen a Buffalo Nickel?
Does it look like the peace dollar?
No, it does not look like
Oh,
the peace dollar.
Nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
I'll be damned.
So it's
Does it got a buffalo on it?
it has a buffalo on it.
Really?
And it's the only coin of its time that was so horribly made that to find one nowadays with a date still on it that hasn't like worn away,
Uh-huh.
it's super rare.
No shit.
Yeah, terribly made.
So
It was only made
terribly made. Can't they forgot to stamp the date on it.
No, they didn't forget. It's stamped. It's just
It's
so
just done
sucked,
wore
it just
off?
wears off.
So if you find one that's got a wore off date or an actual,
If you can see the date, you need to hold on to that dude.
hold on to it.
Yep.
Thousands upon thousands?
Yep.
Or pennies upon pennies?
No, thousands upon thousands.
No shit.
And if you can find one of the buffaloes that only has 3 legs and not 4, you're in the money, bro. What you got, son?
You know, very interestingly enough, Billy Bob Thornton with Bruce Willis once said, "I give you a Buffalo Nickel if you slow that heart rate down."
What movie is that from?
I don't even know.
Movie?
Is that a movie?
Shit.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, no. Oh God, is Ben Affleck?
Not a real movie.
Oh wait, Ben Affleck.
not a real movie.
Ben Affleck, Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton. You know, what was? It's not Apocalypse Now. Armageddon. Sorry.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Nice.
I was about to say those have never been in the same.
But at the beginning of the movie, Billy Bob Thornton tells an astronaut who's like trying to do something while floating in space, "I give you a Buffalo Nickel if you slow your heart rate down right now."
Hey, you know what? Welcome to the podcast.
F&A Cotton.
All right, we'll catch y'all next time.